Next, we're going to make an arm. So I'm going to just quickly grab some more sprites for it. We're going to grab this one, and we're going to make it a sprite mesh. And we're going to put it on our rock golem sorting layer, and we're going to move it over here-ish. And I'm going to, let's see, for now, I'll need to adjust the order a little bit, but we'll do that in a minute. This is going to be L arm 1, and then where's my other arm piece? This is another piece of an arm, and this is going to drag that in, 2D object, sprite mesh, sorting layer, rock golem, move it over here. And so what do I want to do here? This wants to be -1 because it wants to be behind. So far so good. And maybe a little bit lower. And then there's a big funky hand that we need as well. Near this one. And we're going to grab it. Oh, let's label this. This is going to be L arm 2. And then we're going to add hand. And let's move this both up. And actually, let's wait till we do this. So let's make this a sprite mesh first. Sprite mesh, rock golem sorting layer. This, let's see, I think 0 will be okay for this. Might have to make some adjustments. Giant funky hand here. Whoop. Let's see, we want that to be behind the other one, so that will be -2. Does that work? Yes, it does. Ta-da. Okay, cool. So now we have a arm. So let's go ahead and child that to the sprite meshes. And the next step is going to be to set up some more bones. So we're going to sprout these off of the neck. And so we're going to select the neck, right click, 2D object, bone. And this is going to be L arm 1. And it's going to go up here. Notice, again, we're getting the transparent connection here. And so we're going to do this arm, even though it has 3 pieces, we're going to do it with 2 bones. And so I'm going to create a child here and drag it out. Very nice behavior here that it stretches. Let's get to the middle of that arm. And now we can adjust the length on this second bone and make it nice and long. And we'll do kind of something like that. Okay, then we need to quickly bake our sprite meshes. So what we're going to do is we are going to say the left arm 1 is going to only, oh, and let's label this. This is going to be L arm 2. So left arm 1 is only going to be affected by L arm 1. So we're going to take off the second bone that gets automatically added. We are going to select the sprite mesh, window, Anima2D, sprite mesh editor, and we are going to, this looks a little weird, is that right? Let's go. Oh, yeah, it's a totally wrong object. That's why it looks weird. Apply. There we are. Okay. And so we are going to bind, right? This is fine. It's just the single bone again, right? So we're going to apply that. Now, this is where it gets interesting. We're going to go to L arm 2. And in this case, we're going to bind it to both bones. So it's going to kind of stretch based on the 2 bones. So I'm going to grab L arm 1 here, drop it in the set bone slot. It's going to grab both. And now we can see in the sprite mesh editor that we have 2 bones. And if we go to the bind view, we can see this nice gradient, right? And this means the more red it is, the more it's affected by this bone, and the more yellow it is, the more it's affected by this bone. And this is where the pies view becomes handy, right? As we can see the amount that each vertex is affected by that bone, right? And so we can see the influence of each bone on the mesh and how it's going to deform. So I'm just going to use the default settings there. That should be fine. Obviously, you could get in there and fine-tune it as much as you want. Actually, one thing we might, well, yeah, let's just keep it like that for now, just to keep it simple. We're going to apply that. And then for the hand, we're just going to go ahead and set bones for the single left arm 2. And again, just bind the single bone there. Now, if we grab our bones, we can see we're getting this nice deformation of the elbow bone based on the influence of the two bones, right? Now, this behavior is not so lifelike, right? Even though it's a rock monster, right? We could do some animation with this, but what's really going to bring this to life for us is some IK or inverse kinematics, and that is what we are going to do in the next segment. Ron McCullough asks, will you be going over physics-based bones? Well, so what we can do is we're going to make IK targets, and I'm going to show how to move them with animation, but of course you could move them with physics. So you could do some like wacky ragdoll type stuff with this because the object will, it'll solve the IK based on the physics object, right? It's not something I've tried, but this is, it should work, right? Because it's just trying to solve for a position.